everyone, this is Plankara, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Yesterday, I was extremely tired, but fortunately, I think that what I did yesterday was actually pretty good. I still like most of what I worked on. So I'm just going to carry on from where I left off, and about the only thing that I want to fix is the way this strand moves. So I'm going to start by consulting the mesh here, in order to get all this where I wanted. I just kind of felt like the bottom part was almost looking like it was drooping a bit. So I want to make sure that strand is pulled nice and tight and that everything is where it needs to go. So that's where I will start, but honestly, everything over here, pretty okay. I think I can be satisfied with how that all looks, and I can just get right into the tips. The part that I left off on. Still a little bit sleepy today, but I think that's just, once again, I'm still a little bit sick. It's getting better, I'll be fine, but it does mean I'll be a little bit sleepy for the next little while, and any time that I have to use, like, NyQuil or something to help me sleep, just to make sure that I do tend to be a little bit drowsy the next morning. That's why I try to avoid it when I can. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we eventually had medicines that did not have these kinds of side effects? Huh, I wonder how that bottom part is working, because that does not look right. Yes, that is definitely not right. Okay, let's see what the mesh has to say about this. Okay, so I had that one right before. For whatever reason, this vertex just goes way over there. Fair enough. Fair enough. Just taking this slow as usual, and just really paying attention to where those vertices end up going. Trying to match them up as best I can. That should probably be good enough, though. I just don't want that bottom part to start squirming. Yeah, it still looks like it's kind of hanging down. Okay. I am gonna take some drastic measures here and use the brush. Because this needs to, like, come up here somehow. Don't want it to look like it's sagging. And now the shape is totally different. Oh, man. Stride is not cooperating with me, so we're off to a good start this morning. I always feel like these areas shouldn't be as hard as they are, but every time they take me by surprise. I'm just like, wait, you were just a little strand. Just a tiny little strand. Why you gotta be like this? It's fine to be a tiny little strand. You don't gotta be anything important or anything. Your position matters all the same. But yeah, there's just a point down at the bottom there where it gets a little bit thicker. And I need to get that into the right spot more or less. Okay, there we go. I think that should be okay. The vertices were moving pretty well. So hopefully that fixes all the things I was seeing. It's pretty dang close. Just right... Nope, there's still one spot. I gotta fix that. Just one little spot. Where it was not quite lining up. Okay. Yeah, that seems better. And then at the very bottom, I just want to lift that guy just a tad, and then I think all will be well. Okay, I figured that correction would be a pretty quick one, but it took a little bit longer than I expected. Little Strand just did not know what it was doing. Okay. So now I can go back and revisit things down here. So let's see where I left off. See, this is why I always like to finish an area before I stop, whatever I can, because it means that I don't have to remember where I left off the next day. And I can just jump right back in to whatever it is that I wanted to do for the day. That, and it's just oddly satisfying. Well, maybe even not oddly satisfying, it's just satisfying. To end on a positive note where everything that you're doing is done and looking pretty good. Gotta say, I do kind of hate ending art sessions with something half done. It's been true for a while. When I work on drawing something, off stream even, I say, okay, I want to get this part done today, and then I make a point of just getting that part done. The hard part is when that point is the hair, because the hair tends to take me a really, really long time, just because there's so much to it and it needs lots of little lines and stuff in order to work out. And I can't always do that in one sitting, so I kind of have to leave it half done, and I always feel a little dejected afterwards. So I started breaking it down a little bit more, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do the shadow, this part of the shadows, or this part near the top of her head, or I'm just going to really define the outer shape and get that exactly the way that I want. And then I go do something else that I can actually finish in one sitting more easily. And that's been working pretty well. I no longer get that unsatisfying feeling of, okay, well, I have to stop, but the hair's not done. So as you can see, hair haunts me in my regular drawing, too. Definitely one of the more time-consuming parts. Alright, so right now I'm just trying to get this highlight on the side of the bangs there. Trying to just guide that into place. It looks like there's some compression going on here, so I'm gonna consult the mesh and try to figure out where these vertices are getting closer together. But I think with a few push and pulls there, I can get rid of that feeling that everything is just kind of being squashed here. I do want the vertices to be moving a little bit lower than they were on my right turn, just because the head is moving down and I want her hair to be moving down too. So naturally the vertices will be a little bit lower, but I do need to keep them fairly evenly spaced. They should all be about the same distance from each other as they were before. That's all, and when they're not, that tends to be when things look either squished or stretched. Alright, and you know what? While I'm here, I feel like just going all the way down the strand, so I'm just gonna do that. Huh, is that really how it is on the side? Okay, I think actually here, this should be a little bit lower down. Yeah, now that I look at it, this strand looks a little bit funky on my right turn. Everything is a little bit bulgy there. So, well, with any luck with that change to the right turn, hopefully things will look a little bit nicer down here, too. On my lower right turn. But I think I still got more mesh consulting to do. Because the mesh knows all. Yeah, it looks like a few of these little triangles just got tilted way to the other side. And that is definitely responsible for some of the shifts that I've been seeing. But I think most of the problems still lie in the center vertices, so that's why I'm staring at them quite a lot and trying to get them looking good. Okay. So once again, I'm gonna go look at this highlight here. I just ended up going down the strand too, because why not? And I don't know, it's still not quite... Huh, I'm actually surprised on how far off it looks. Because I thought that much would at least get me close, but what area am I just totally not seeing things in? Okay, I'm gonna zoom out and just really stare at this for a second and try to really understand what is making this not line up properly. I guess you could say when I look at it, I feel like it's getting thinner and longer. So there's probably something about the tip here that's not lining up for me. And then I guess over here needs to be a little bit thicker. So that might be what I'm seeing. Alright, so now I'm going to zoom in and take a look at the mesh itself. And try to make sense of all this. Okay, so if I want it to be a little bit thicker through here, that means the outer vertices like that. And if I want it to be a little bit thinner on the edge, okay, just tuck that in a little bit, try to get it closer to the same size as it is on my right turn. Yeah, and I do see a little bit of vertex dance here. So let's try to space these a little bit more evenly. Try to get them all facing the same direction. Just going to be looking closely for a hot second here. Ah, the joy of details. Zoom in to 800% and hope for the best. Okay. Looked pretty closely at things there, so let's see if that did it. Yeah, I might need to thicken up this bottom part here, but I would say that is close enough. So now I'm looking at the highlight here, like the part where this all connects is totally wrong, but I think everything else looks okay. I might still need to do a correction here, around here, as I start wanting to fix up all of that, but I think before I do any of that, I would like to just finish this strand. Let's just go in and do all the strands. Because there was a lot that still felt off here, so just gonna hardcore stare at this mesh and try to figure out what is making these vertices squirm. Okay, this is looking pretty close. Still got a little bit of squirming going on with this little guy down here. This part is always a little bit harder, because that's the point where it transitions from having 3 rows of vertices to having 2. So this is the last one in the center row here, and everything else is just only on the outsides. So I've always found that the position of the vertices in those situations is surprisingly fickle and important. Doesn't seem like it'd be more important than any other vertex, but yet I find myself agonizing over where to put those ones way more often than any other. Okay, I don't think that's completely right, but I think before I can get more here, I am going to have to figure out this, and I think before I figure out this, I need to figure out the brown part. So let's go do the brown part now. Seems like a good idea. I will just continue consulting the mesh here. I'm going to use that to get everything started. And then once everything's started, I will use my eyes and actually look at the art and try to get this, the part where that strand kind of seems to end. Try to get all that sorted out. But honestly, this part here, it's looking like I've already kind of consulted the mesh. And I already got most of it. Oh, that's nice. Must be something I did yesterday. I only vaguely remember what I did yesterday, so I was pretty sleepy. I think I got a little bit of a second wind partway through, but for the most part, I was pretty sleepy. One of the many reasons being sick is the worst. You need sleep, which is bad enough, because sleeping sucks, but then your body doesn't even let you sleep. Because it's like, oh no, there's stuff I must expel. And then it does that instead of letting you sleep. It's like, man, make up your mind, body. If you want to sleep, just sleep. Does not seem like it should be this hard. Yet here we are. I mean, even on the best of nights, I tend to have problems with insomnia, so maybe it's just my body that doesn't know what's going on. It's very rude. I do not appreciate it. Okay, that should be fine. Let's go take a look. Oh, see how everything is shaken up. I actually don't think down here looks right, but I think I want to get up here first. So let's figure out how all of this needs to look. I think once again I will ask the mesh one more time because I see something squirming in this area, and I kind of want to figure out where some of that should go. Okay. Okay, that guy was actually better off in that spot. I think this one was actually better down there as well. So that was not the cause of the squirmers. Hello there, Yedgy Kitty. Okay, I think I found issues that I was seeing. So all of these look like they're in pretty decent spots. Alright, well fair enough. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a good day. Alright, I think that's about as much as the mesh is gonna tell me. So now I just gotta look on my own. Try to figure out what I do not like about what is going on here. Focusing strictly on that gray line there. The boundary between the white strand and the brown strand. Okay, yeah, I think that actually looks pretty good. So I think that might be all I needed to do, which is pretty awesome. I like it when things are nice and easy. Life is hard enough. It's nice when life decides to surprise me with something relatively straightforward. I appreciate it. Okay, I still feel a little bit of compression down at the bottom, so that tells me that there's something that is not quite spaced properly. But otherwise, I am pretty happy. I think everything there is looking pretty good, so that means that I can, with any luck, dig back into my brown strand there. Actually, I might do the white one first. Yeah, I think I'd like to finish off the white one. Alright, yeah, I think that looks good. So now I think I can safely revisit this white strand now that I know that this is all good. So any squirming that I see here I know is because there is something wrong with the strand itself. And I don't have to make any guesses as to where these things are happening. But if I'm being honest, I think this strand is probably like 95% of the way there. I don't think it's going to take much more. Figuring out where a couple of these center ones should go is actually proving to be a bit tricky. Well, let's see if that fixed the problems that I was seeing, at least down to about here to where the tip is. I haven't quite done the tip yet. Yeah, I think that's fine. So now let's go and just get the very bottom of it. I can tell that there's one outer vertex that's a little bit too close. But besides that, I don't quite know what to expect here. The reason that I can tell that one of the outer vertices was a little bit too close was just because I thought the strand looked a little bit thin. Okay. Now I think I can finally start getting these guys. Let's go. Alright, I think it's almost there. Good, I'm glad that this strand was a little bit more cooperative than the one that I was working on at the very start of the stream. But I feel like this is actually going pretty well. We'll see how it lines up with the bottom turn. That I am not sure if it's going to work out. But that will be the final test. Does it line up the bottom turn? But I do think I will save that for once I have everything over here the way that I want it. And I have not yet done the brown strand. Okay, I think I can do a little bit more with the bottom here. Just a couple of things that do not look like they are quite in the right spot. Okay. I think that's probably fine. If I wanted to spend another, like, 30 minutes on it, I could probably get a little bit more out there. But I think this is fine. So now I just gotta get the brown one. Let's go. Okay, so what is wrong with you? There's, like, a bunch of stuff on the very tip of it. That's just curling a bit strangely. So I think I'm gonna take a drastic measure here and use the brush to straighten out this tip here. Just gonna pull it right down. Okay, and that was a bit much on the end, but I think that the center part, that was perfect. Okay, now I feel like it's following the same general shape as this one, so hopefully I'll be able to see the vertices a little bit better. I always have to look a little bit more closely here because the lines are almost the same color as the texture. It's a bit annoying, but I will manage. I always do. One moment, I've got a small cough here. There we go. It's okay, I've been coughing a lot less today so far. So I do think I am mostly over whatever it is that I had. And I'm hoping that as we go into summer that illness will be a little bit less of an issue. It's funny, because my daughter is going to be starting school this year in August, and I know that going into the winter, when she's around that many other little kids, that we're probably going to be sick, like, all the time. And I think that's just going to be kind of how it is. I am admittedly not looking forward to that part so much. But she's got to go to school, so, you know, I'm just going to have to deal with it. Okay, and the rest, I think I just put together visually. There's just a couple of spots where I didn't feel like the shadow was lining up quite nicely. Yep, still not. It's a little bit hard to see because of the mesh. But I should be able to get it after a few tries. But I probably will need those few tries. Alright, let's take a look at this. Yeah, seems fine. And it's even lining up at the bottom. Do not mind the missing hair here. I'm just not working on that spot, and having that strand visible was just making it hard to work on the right turns. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, on to the upper right. So, for the upper right, I changed a whole bunch of things around the hair over here. So that is gonna be like way off up here. Yeah. Look at it go. Her head is just caving in a little bit. No big deal. So that's gotta be the first thing I fix. Just gonna fix up this whole area and hope for the best. Then I can go and work on the strand once more. Okay, this strand here looks like it's being pulled tight and straightened in a very strange way. So let's let it have a little bit of curl to it so it looks like it has the proper amount of slack. And that there's not something just mysteriously grabbing this little strand and pulling on it. Yeah, look how much better that is already. It's not even fully lined up yet. And just having that little bit of extra curve, little bit of extra curl, really made it look so much softer. So now I'm just kind of straightening it out a bit. I noticed that the curl was a little bit strong on the end there. So I just wanted to very slightly pull it back. Yeah, it's still a little bit too strong. Right through here mostly. So I'll gently lower the curl through here. Emphasis on gently, I don't want to move it too far. Just gonna take it easy. And it does look like it's getting thicker at the top, so I need to make it thinner. So that means that I need to push these two rows of vertices together. And if I do it for both ends like this, then it stays in roughly the same spot. Okay, and now I'm having trouble reading it because the stuff around it is squirming so much. So now I think it is time to work on the stuff around it again. And I'll just go back and forth on working on the strand and working on the highlight next to it until I'm satisfied. And there was something down here that was also not looking super great, but you know what? I should do that once this part up here is done. Gotta remind myself to only do one thing at a time. Because if if I try to do more than one thing at a time, I'm probably just gonna fail on both of them forever. So I gotta resist that mental temptation to just do too many things at once. It is very hard to resist. Okay, and now I think I want to look at the strand a little bit more, because now its movement is making it impossible to work on the other area. So now I gotta get all this into place. And yeah, I'll just continue to go back and forth like this. Just back and forth, and that was way too much movement. Yeah, way too much. That is what we call overdoing it. And why I try to be careful about it. Because it's so easy to do. It's like, I vaguely remember the shape that I want in my head. I'm like, okay, I move this here, here, and here. And then I'm like, my brain, as it tends to do, was greatly exaggerating things. Oh, silly brain. You're so silly. Fall asleep. Time to move. There we go. My foot can only take that position for like an hour. Which is not bad for a single position, so works out. Just goes to show that it's a fairly comfortable one. Okay, I'm gonna consult the mesh for the strand a bit, hope to work out some of the areas around it. Because I am reaching an area where it's hard to work on the bulk of the hair because the strand is scorbing so much, but it's hard to work on the strand because the bulk of the hair is scorbing so much. So it's this weird catch-22, and I think consulting the mesh will help me break it. So hopefully I can get the strand looking good enough that all will be well, and I can just work on the bulk of the hair in peace. And all of this will be useful in the end anyway, because, I mean, at some point, I'm gonna have to go in and make sure that everything is lining up nicely. And for the strands, most of the time I end up consulting the mesh at least once. They're just a little bit more fiddly about their vertex placement. It is what it is. Okay, that seems fine for now. So now, back to the book of the hair. Let's see if I can get that lining up right. Oh my. And I just look at it and everything is so wrong. Even over here is wrong. I'm actually surprised. Did I never fix that? You know what? That's pretty low-hanging fruit, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab that real quick. I think even just getting that not squirming out of my peripheral vision will go a long way. And it's just so easy to move stuff over here, so... The exact specifics don't really matter quite as much, so I can just kind of grab the brush and move it. Makes it nice and easy. Okay, cool. It's weird, because I thought I fixed everything in this area at one point, but I dislike most of it, if I'm being honest. I mean, maybe it was just changing things elsewhere that made me realize how far off some of these parts are. Such things do happen, of course. But even so, I find myself a little bit surprised. Looking at my past self being like, come on, I know you can do better than this. There's something going on here. Okay. And even on the front bang, here, I feel like all of these are just not in good spots. I wonder what happened. Why did everything get so... I don't know, just a little bit messed up. Well, I definitely want to fix this now, because I thought that I had all of these areas done, but if I don't, then, well, I need to go and fix that. Or maybe just because I'm zoomed in at 700% and It's making me notice things that aren't there. Such things are also possible. But even so, I'll just lightly poke at some of this stuff until I'm satisfied. Really, what was getting me was just that I felt like everything there was sliding around and... Okay, yeah, that seems fine. That seems a little bit better. And if I see more things when I zoom in, I'm going to ignore them, because I have zoomed out and verified that everything is fine. Okay, no, I still have some stuff I want to fix around this highlight. This is a different area, so I can fix things here if I want. It's only over here. This part is fine. I have zoomed out and verified that it is fine. I am no longer allowed to touch it. But over here is completely different. So that I can look at. I don't know, I still feel like things are weird right there. Guess I pulled these down just a little bit too hard. Yeah, that seems a little bit better. Okay, let's zoom out and take one more look. Make sure that I am actually happy with how things are there. Gotta let her head wiggle around a bit, just so I can really check it. No, there's still a couple of spots here that I have some complaints about. So I guess I'm fixing a bunch of stuff on the front bang here. Did not expect that when I started rigging today. But I do think that the things in the center, especially things kind of near her face, are very important and therefore are worth a little bit of extra time, just to make sure that they are very, very nice looking. Everything here needs to line up exactly as I want it. Okay, I think this is probably fine. I'm still not quite sure about this, but I don't think it bothers me enough to want to do something about it. Maybe it does? Just a little. Just enough. Okay, I have some ideas. We will pull both these rows a little bit closer together. And that should get me the shape that I desire. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, and I also fixed the squirming in that little tunnel. Looks so much better now. So now I can go back to over here and start getting those highlights lined up with how I changed it on my right turn. Hopefully make her hair look a little bit less bulgy. Okay. Yes, I think those areas are good now, so now I'm going to go down into kind of near the bottom here. I think that is the last part that needs to be lined up. I ended up going down a little bit of a rabbit hole that I did not expect. It was also a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It's okay, I think it's for the best. Now the bangs look a little bit better too. Always happy when I can make something look a little bit better like that. Trying to avoid moving that little strand too much, because I already felt like it was lined up pretty nicely, but I did need to move some of the things around it in order to line that area up as well. So just needed to be careful. All there is to it. Sometimes you just gotta be careful. And I just want to change the size of or the shape of the tunnel a little bit. Make it a little bit rounder. I think that'll make it look nicer. Yeah. Yeah, that looks nicer. And I just want to make sure that everything here is covering what it needs to. Just so we don't have any strange bald spots show up. Okay. The good news is that when I look at the very top of the side bang there, I think it actually looks pretty good. So I don't think I'll have very much editing to do there. So that is always some good news. Oh, here, there's this little shadow right there. That makes kind of an extra thin strand. And currently I'm trying to get its thickness about right. Just what controls its thickness also controls some other nearby things, like the bottom of this tunnel and stuff like that. And so it is surprisingly difficult to get just right. So you can see me kind of carefully flailing out here. Trying a few things and seeing if I can get it to look nice. Mixed results. As is common, some spots worked, some spots didn't. So I just gotta take the spots that worked and try to figure out why those spots just did not work. Take all the hints I can get to. Okay, I know I just recently changed this to make it a little bit rounder, and I thought that looked nice. But right now it's just really, really open. And it looks a bit strange. Okay, there we go. That's looking better. So now back to this guy. That guy. Just being elusive and picky. I do not appreciate it when my textures are elusive and picky. I wish they'd work with me just a little bit more. It'd be very nice. So there I was looking at what I wanted to do for the big kind of opening shape here. The tunnel, as I like to call it. But I think that's a pretty good spot for it. I don't know, it still feels like all the stuff here should be a little bit lower. Art continues to be hard. But it's okay, because I fully believe that I will win in the end. I will just keep poking at this until I'm happy. That's just how it works. But this seems pretty alright. Oh. Ooh. I was gonna say it seems pretty alright, but is it bulging? Is it bulging a little bit? No more than what's already on the right turn, so I think it's okay. Okay, so I think I can call that good, and I'm gonna start going down her side strand here. Yeah, this area's not too bad. Got a few things that I see that I need to fix, but not that bad. But I'm realizing that after I fix all this, the final strand is the strand from hell. I'm terrified. I am always pretty terrified of working with the Strand from Hell. It just doesn't like me. And it means that I get pretty nervous anytime I have to look it in the face. I just feel like I'm in danger. Okay, I'm gonna consult the mesh for this one. Because I can tell that there's a bunch of stuff around these little highlights that are off, but I'm having trouble identifying why. Happens a fair amount, so I'm not surprised, but they're definitely not in the right spot. It's up here. The lower parts actually are pretty okay now. And then I think for right here, it's actually the outer ones that need to come out just a tad. Just a tad. Okay, that seems alright. So now down into here. What you got to say, Mesh? What do you think I should do? How's my spacing? Kinda weird, I agree. I agree. So let's see what I got here. Need to pull out a few of these. And then a bunch of these are going up when they shouldn't be, or at least more than they should be. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and consult the mesh all the way down. Just get the low-hanging fruit out of the way. Maybe give my brain a little bit of a rest, because it is getting tired, but I want to keep going. I would like to get more of this strand done today. I'm determined. I am determined to try to finish this model this month. It's not gonna be a hard deadline. If it takes longer than the rest of this month, and, you know, so be it, but I really want to try to finish it this month. The whole thing, not just the hair. Right now, I'm just taking the easiest problems that I can find, just to, I guess, be a little bit of a primer for everything else. So I feel like once some of the easiest problems are solved, then the next easiest will be a little bit easier. A little bit easier than they would otherwise. Okay, and I'm not gonna worry about the strands. I just wanted to get those couple of easy spots because, well, they were easy. Okay, so let's see how we're doing so far with just quick mesh consultation. Nice. Not good, but much better than it was, and that was pretty easy to do. Did not require much thought from me. So let's do it again. I'm just gonna consult the mesh, look for all the low-hanging fruit, and see what I got. Do the easiest parts first, give my brain a little bit of a chance to rest after all of that. Because figuring out some of that higher area was not exactly easy. And then go from there. Okay, that one I pushed way too far up. Let's bring it back down just a little. There we go. Kind of same with this one, actually, now that I look at it. Went a little bit too high. The outer vertices are a little bit of a mess, but I think that's okay. They can be a minor mess. Not everything has to be perfectly neat and clean after all. Okay, and that takes us most of the way down. I'm gonna worry about the very tips later, once again. I just want to kind of get the main bulk here first, before I worry about all the stuff down there. I just find that method a bit easier. And yeah, look at that. A lot of it is looking okay. So now I just have to go and do the parts that can only be done with my eyes. And I feel like there's some spots around her eyes here that are a little bit too thick. So I will go and make them just a little bit thinner here. Try to get that nice straight that runs down the side of her hair there. Okay, and now that I see this, I see that this little loop that comes off the side of her hair there needs a little bit more thickness at the top. Let it just peek out. Little peekaboo. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, there's this shadow here, though. That's not right. I gotta fix that, or it will drive me slightly crazy. And it's in an area that I thought was already finished, so I definitely want to fix it now. Because otherwise I will forget. Yeah, the whole angle up there is like being changed, and I don't think it looks very good. So I gotta like really, really bring it down until it's turning the other direction. Another case of I'm a little bit surprised that I missed something like this, but here we are. Actually, I guess when I say I want to finish the whole model this month, I don't mean this month as in March. I mean April. I forgot that it's still March. My head is 2 days in the future. Thinking about a lot of things right now. But no, I do not expect to be able to finish the whole model in 2 days. Especially since one of those days I'm pretty sure I'm playing Subnautica and not rigging. Although no, yeah, tomorrow's the last day of March, so no Subnautica tomorrow. Subnautica on Tuesday. Okay, there we go, that's better. Now then, side hair. Okay, I need to pull this guy out right here. The edge there, not quite right. Yep, and indeed, I see the little vertex that did not get pulled out properly. Resulting in a strange dent on the side of her hair that did not need to be there. It is undesirable that it is there, in fact. Try not to move these too much, because I feel like the highlights here are lining up decently well, but the shape of the hair there just was not working for me, so I needed to make a couple of changes. I've been going back and forth on whether I should fix this thing that I've been looking at for a little while now, but yeah, the vertices on this layer are sliding so hard, and it is bothering me immensely, so I gotta do something about it. I cannot let this continue like this. Everything here is just sliding downward so much. I'm wondering what happened. I mean, I undoubtedly was using the brush to do something, but man. There's off and then there's off. Okay, let's see if that's close enough. There's still a fair amount of sliding there, but that is fine. No, I'm still going to have to fix that. I see. Well, good luck. In the end, people can't actually predict the future, so a lot of time predictions... not always accurate. Stuff happens. Oh, that's rough. This area, I'm guessing that I went back and forth on whether I wanted to fix this for a long enough time. Because I did occasionally see things through there, but I just never really thought it was a big enough deal to fix it. But now I guess I changed my mind. Such things happen often. 'Cause yeah, I do even see some of the awkward movement. When I zoom out. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about needing other people to do things, is that if they don't want to, then it's pretty hard to do it. That's the upside to having some things that you can do on your own too. Because unfortunately you can't control other people's behavior. There is absolutely nothing you can do to control it. Alright, well, let's see if this looks any better. Yeah, I think it looks a little bit better. I'd say most of it is in place. There's just a couple of spots over here that I tucked in just a little bit too much. So now I need to bring them out again. But that's easy enough to do. And hopefully with all of those in place and the squirming no longer bothering me, I can just go back to fixing up the hair. Or I can tell that there's a bunch of things that are not lighting up quite right, but I'm still having a little bit of trouble identifying what is going on. So let's see what the mesh has to say. Not a lot, actually. So maybe I'm just seeing things because my eyes are getting a little bit tired. Don't really want to stop here, though. I'm not going to make myself go all the way to the tips of the strands, but I would like to at least get to where I would be working on those tips. I kind of want the main bulk up here done so that this way I can jump right into that tomorrow. And hopefully get a bunch of these things finished. Probably do right turns for the Strand of Hell first too, just so I can get a bunch of that stuff all done, and the right turns will be easy for that, since it is mostly swept under the rug where I do not have to pay attention to it. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's looking a lot better. Let me see. There's still a spot over here. I think it's probably on this layer. Let me tuck this just a tad. Is that spot still there? It is, actually, so it was not that layer. So it's something right here. Just gonna try to get that as precisely as possible. No, I still don't quite have that underneath part right. Not quite there. Once again, I find myself wishing I did not move these vertices quite as close together. I made the mesh there a little bit too dense. And now it's just annoying to move around. Rookie mistake. It's okay. It is information that I will take with me into the future. And hopefully I will not make that mistake again. Although knowing me, I might make it a couple more times. Just thinking of, oh yeah, this area, it's in a really important spot. I need to make sure I can move it well. I think the big takeaway for my next model, while I'm still learning the optimal number of vertices to be using here, so this way I can move it well, but it is not so unwieldy like this, would be to be a little bit more willing to redo meshes that don't quite work out. So I think that is also something I should keep in mind. That indeed. Maybe I should just not be lazy and be a little bit more willing to redo them. Not gonna do that for this one, though. At this point, I think I'm already close enough to the end that I'm just like, it's fine. I will manage. And I do believe I will manage. Alright, I think this all the way through down here is good now. So now I will be lining up the next area, which is right around here. So that's going to be kind of this outer edge, and then these pink parts, and this highlight right through here. My stomach is definitely complaining about being hungry, but I am telling it to just hold out a little bit longer. I want to finish these last little parts so I can just do the tips tomorrow and move on to new and exciting things at the Strand from Hell. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Honestly, I think most of the Strand looks pretty okay. I don't think I have to change very much through here at all. Cough. Yeah, I don't think I have to change much at all. Just gotta really find the right thickness there. It's being elusive. So I still got some things to poke around. But no, this seems pretty fine. I think I've got the right balance for that higher part that I was looking at. So I will just keep working my way down. Not gonna go all the way to the end, like I said. I don't want to do the tips today. But I will work my way through everything else. I think that fiddling with this little strand here, and just getting this part all done here will be the last thing that I do today, though. It is getting late, I am getting hungry, so it's about time that I stop pushing myself and go do things. So today I will be posting a schedule for the coming week. It'll be up on the community tab and on Twitter and Blue Sky, so you can use whichever platform you like. And it will show what I'm doing for the coming week. From here on out, I will be posting one every week, even though I do plan for my schedule to be pretty consistent and won't be changing a lot. You can at least reference it and show up to the streams that you are interested in seeing. Or at least know when you're going to get a friendly VOD of something that looks really fun. I've already got everything ready, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of time to eat and stuff because I am hungry, but after that, the schedule should go up soon. Okay, I think just a couple more tweaks onto this little highlight here on the side, and I will have it. Finding the right width for all of that is always an adventure. I think it is just about there, because it kind of starts out, then goes in and goes out again. It's a little bit wavy, but I like to try to get that wavy shape as well as I can. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So tomorrow we'll finish this one, and that'll be all 4 quarters. And then a Strand from Hell, and that is the, well, I guess second to last one, since I plan to revisit this area for my upward turns. And I still have the back hair, of course. But yeah, it's almost there. Head turns. We're almost done. I'm excited. It'll be so nice to finally be done with these. Everything else is going to be a lot more simple and subdued. So that should go a lot faster. But I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.